Hello, guys. How are you? Nossa, que correria, gente. Que correria. Cadê meu convidado da live hoje? We're going to speak only in English today. Vocês não reparam, não? Que eu tô arrumando aqui o equipamento. I'm organizing everything for you guys. And let's see if our guest is... Hey, Tati, tudo bem? Oi. Need to wait for everyone. Gente, que calor. Jesus salva nós do calor. Oi, Nirma, tudo bem com você? Hello. Hello, Irish, how are you? Oi, Simon, how are you? How are you doing? How's been things in Ireland? Hi, Ed. It's a filter from Instagram. So let me remove the filter. I'll be natural now. Wait. Where is my natural? Hello, Larry. How are you? I don't know. How can I change it? Thank you guys for being here. Hello, Bruno. Just waiting for my guest. Not sure if he's online. Oh my god. Now I cannot find the normal way. Look at this one. Yeah, I think I'll keep this one so I cannot find the normal one. So let me see, where's Jonathan? Hi, Larry. Thanks for being here. Gothic. Yeah, I'm kind of gothic today. How are you doing, guys? What are you doing in the quarantine? I'm trying to message my guest now. And hello. I'm waiting for everyone. When I'm talking on the live, I don't know, like I can't pay attention in you guys and what I'm saying. So whenever we start talking, I don't think I can pay attention to everyone. Oh, he's here. Yeah, let's invite you, Jonathan. It's so warm here. Hello, Talita, how are you? Hi.
Hello.
Hello. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm excellent. Can you listen to me?
Yeah, I can listen to you.
Oh, that's great. I mean, I was just trying to connect, but I don't know if it's working now. Can you?
So I think I'm going to put some lights here on, or no?
I'm
You
happy.
know, guys, when you speak English, you can be anyone, right?
Absolutely. You can even be an actor, an actress, whatever.
Yeah, whatever, right. And this is Jonathan. He's an English teacher. I don't know if your followers are here already, but there are
Oh,
some followers of mine.
They are coming up for sure. Let me just to see if everything is working here correctly. Yeah.
So some people are answering. So guys, excuse us if we cannot answer everyone during the live, because it's hard to pay attention on the comments and on you. And she said she loved your accent.
Oh, thank you very much indeed. Thank you very much indeed. Well, let me just introduce myself here. So basically, I am Jonathan, okay? And I will just pin my website if you allow me. I have a website in English and in Portuguese.
Sure.
Yeah, I have a great company working for me sometimes. So I will just pin it to, let me pin, how do I pin it? I don't know. I think I
Hi,
cannot pin.
Clara. Hello, Jonathan team.
Holy guacamole, that's amazing. We've got the two topics today. Okay, we've got two topics, quite important topics. So, but before, let me introduce myself. I pinned here my website if people want to contact me. People want to contact Gabi as soon as possible as well. Because here we are together, because together we are better and we are also stronger.
We're better. Yeah, I love that.
And I've been teaching English for 12 years, okay? 12 or 13, I can't remember right now clearly. But yes, I've been teaching English for about 12, 13 years, up a little over 13 years.
That's
So
awesome.
cheers, by the way, cheers.
Yeah, cheers. I'm drinking some tea and he's drinking some wine. It's great. I have been teaching English for just 2 years or 1 year. I'm a baby, yeah.
Yeah, but fantastic. That's absolutely fantastic, especially because you are new in this field and you are going to face so beautiful challenges, because beautiful challenges in this case, I mean, you have to teach people to communicate in another language, which is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, like English just changed my life, and that's what I decided to do as an extra income, you know. And then it became a bit of my main income. So Clara said your accent is great. I love British accent as well. And Clara is one of my students that's doing really well, you know. This filter is like to make me pretty. So Jonathan, introduce yourself. Who are you? Where
Okay.
do you live? Where do you come from?
Okay, so here we go. Well, basically, I was born in a very small city in Brazil, very small. Okay, it's not super big. It's a capital. It's a capital, but it's small. And also, I served my time in the army. Yeah, so I am very disciplined. Yeah, exactly. Super American. What else? I decided to be a teacher because I like the challenge. Okay, I know that in Brazil it's a little difficult to be a teacher, but I like challenges, so I decided to be a teacher. I graduated in language degree, English and literature, yeah, literature.
Literature.
Yeah, exactly. I can't say that accent. I can't pronounce these words like that. Oh, somebody's on fire here. Okay, now that you told that I am one of your students, I will have a write in English. Oh, that's perfect. It's your student, isn't it?
Huh?
It's your student, isn't it?
Yeah, she's my free student, you know, she just consume my free content and she become great, you know, she doesn't even need a teacher. She's a self-taught, I would say.
Holy guacamole. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome. Guys, please share this live with your friends that need to train their English, you know. Go in this arrow, like this little, how can I say, aeroplane?
Yeah.
Manda aviãozinho.
Even my cousin is right over here.
Yeah, I like when I'm live. I like the students to make the most of it. They like ask their questions because that's the moment they have to answer everything, you know. So you didn't told us, no, you didn't tell us, what's the city you lived, what are the cities you lived around Brazil or maybe around the world, you know?
Well, unfortunately, my let's say my Brazilian culture, it's a little.
No, I don't know how to remove this filter.
Well, I don't even know. Jesus, I don't even know how to put a filter there. No way, no way. Unfortunately, not. Well, I was saying that it's very limited because I've never traveled so much around Brazil, but I know São Paulo, I know Santa Catarina, I know a little bit about my own city because I always wanted to travel. I have a kind of a minimalist life. What I mean by that, I don't like a lot of things that normally people buy. Goods, I would say goods. People like to buy goods. So I don't,
Yeah, me neither.
yeah,
I love experiences, you know, not goods, not
yeah,
assets.
exactly. Yeah, I mean, why assets? Unless you have human assets, that's much better because
I
we
mean,
can,
I'm from
we,
finances. I cannot tell these people. I mean, I don't like goods, but I love wealthy, you know. I love being rich. Yeah, that's something that I aim. But I
yeah,
don't like goods, you know, I don't need good clothes. I just want a good life, you know, like a passive income. That's my
yeah.
target, you know.
Yeah, yeah, no, definitely, definitely. I still like to be, let's say, in the army field. I like to be in the front. I'm not a guy who works in the back, at the backstage. I like to be in the front, in the middle of the battlefield. I really love it. So I was saying that I work. Uh, I've been working for about 12 or 13 years. I can't tell you specifically now. I can't remember, but I do. I do have a limited knowledge about the country, Brazil itself, because I never traveled and I never got so interested on it. But I know it's beautiful. I know it's absolutely fantastic, and it's let's say it's very exotic. It's very exotic.
And how
Well,
about abroad, you know, the English
bro.
speaker
Oh,
countries?
oh, somebody said that I look like a Johnny Depp. Oh, that's great. Thank you very much indeed. I do appreciate that. Thank you.
Cheers. You know, cheers in
Cheers to
Irish
that.
is loncha.
Yeah, it's Loncha. Yeah, yeah. I learned that when I was living in Ireland. I also I learned a quite interesting word, Gurav Maragath. Gurav Maragath means thanks a million.
Oh, thanks a million. So how long
Yeah.
did you live in Ireland? I live there as well, you know.
Oh, yeah. Well, I can't tell you specifically precisely how long I've lived there, but I can tell you that I went there and came back, so forth, and then I decided to stay there for 1 year, precisely, and then I went to Dublin, I went to Cork, I went to Howth, I worked Prost in Romano. Oh my God, I have no idea. Yeah, Prost in Romano, I know what's that, okay? So there is a friend of mine here, Donovan, he
Oh,
said
Prost
Prost.
is also in German, I think. Prost.
Yeah, but Prost in Romano, it's another word. I will not mention here, but he could mention here for us, okay? He could definitely mention. What else I would like to tell you about my trip? My experience abroad. Well, I worked in many different fields and areas. I would say that I worked as a cleaner, as a bartender. I worked as a waiter. I taught English there. I taught English. I taught just a little bit of Portuguese, just a little bit. I mean, two students were interested in Brazil. I was okay. That was a good wage. It was a good wage, definitely.
I
Yeah.
have been cleaner as well, and also nanny, you know.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's much easier for a woman to be a nanny,
Yeah,
a
I learned
babysitter.
so much from the kids, you know. They were so great to me.
Oh, definitely. There is a gentleman I would like to mention here, ma'am. It's a very nice gentleman. His last name is Corsaro. Okay, he's an American professor, and he learned Italian from kids in the kindergarten. The kindergarten. That was absolutely incredible. His material is amazing.
That's awesome. You know, kids
Corsaro.
teach us so much because they make fun of us and they teach you many words. And I use it to do like championships. Like who has more words for me? I'll give you jellies. You know, if you give
Yeah.
me like 5 words each, and they start looking for the words, and I asked them to write them down, and they didn't know. You know, it was really great times. I totally, yeah. I love the time that I spent in Ireland and all that the country and the natives. But the passion that I have was Amsterdam was the best place I went ever.
But is it because of the coffee shops?
No,
Woo!
no, of course no.
No, it's about
I would
the
say
culture.
France. I would say France and Paris and Amsterdam, just because of the city, you know, the channels, the
Yeah.
bikes, and all the culture they have,
Yeah.
you know.
Now the canals are absolutely beautiful. I've been there only 2 times, and I went to 2 different museums, and it was a remarkable experience.
Yeah, and how many countries have you been in your life?
Oh, not so many countries. Let me say that I've been to cities, yes, but countries only England, Scotland, Ireland, Belgium, and also, well, Belgium is one of them. Yeah, Belgium and
So do you think it's not so many?
no, it's not. I think it's not so many because I've met so many people in my life, and they go backpacking. They just go backpacking and they meet and they see a lot of different people from different countries, and they go like 15 countries in 2 months. I have jet lag problems. I have a very bad jet lag problems. I get totally knackered. I get totally knackered when I
You
have
know,
this
guys,
jet.
what means jet lag, this word? This word means when you cannot adapt to the time zones in a different time, so you get really hungover by jet lag. Jet lagged, we would say, yeah?
Absolutely. You were absolutely right. Absolutely.
But I haven't been in so many countries, I would say as well. I used to travel and come back to the good ones. I have been in around 10 countries, I think the maximum. But I
Holy
surprised
ravioli.
myself.
Holy ravioli. Seriously, 10 countries?
Yeah, and I stayed in Ireland. I lived 2 months. Oh, 2 years. Sorry, 2 years.
Yeah, yeah. All right.
What do you say? Knackered is a British slang. What is this word? Can you say again? Dust goats to say.
Knackered.
Knackered.
Yeah, this gentleman wrote absolutely perfect. Well, I also have another word for him, a chinwag. You know what's the meaning of a chinwag? It's a very, very Liverpudlian word.
This gentleman is American, you know?
Holy ravioli. Seriously?
Yeah,
Don't tell
that's
me.
why I
Yeah,
know.
okay.
So I have spent 2 months in Germany as well, like living, I think started living. And I spent 4 months or 5 in the US. So
Five different cities in the United States of America, and of course you've seen a lot of different cities because every state in United States of America is completely different from each other, right?
yeah, it's kind of like Brazil. You know, I have been to Texas, to Nevada, to Nevada, Arizona, Texas, Nevada, Arizona, and New Hampshire, Maine, and that's it. Chewang. No, I have not heard of it.
A chinwag, yeah, chinwag means a
Chinwag.
quite informal. Let's say it's a quite informal. It's a quite informal chit chat, conversation, whatever you can say. I mean, even a very informal chat. Yeah, informal conversation you can have.
That's very specific. Yeah, we were going to talk about culture here. So, what do you have to say, like about the many different cultures you have ever seen around the world? What did you learn from it?
Well, I learned that I have to be extremely organized because European countries are definitely way more organized than Brazil. So you have to understand the core of the country. And the only way to understand the core of the country basically is to have this kind of personal experience with people. When you understand the people, when you talk to people, when you are quite a gentleman or a kind person, you can have way more opportunities to understand their culture. It's difficult to understand the first moment you have in your life when you go to a different country. It's difficult to adapt, but if you talk to people, you can definitely be one of them, in not only linguistically speaking, but also, let's say, in a kind of a relationship that you have with people there. If you speak their language, it's going to be much easier to understand the culture.
Yeah, that's what I could feel. It was the same. Like when I was living over there, I had many Brazilian friends, and many people think that you need to leave Brazil to learn English, and that's the lie. Because I knew many friends from Brazil that never learned English because they just didn't want to. I mean, it's not, I wouldn't say they didn't want, they didn't make the effort needed. And I decided, you know, the very first day I was in Ireland, I arrived there and a friend of mine just invited me to go to a Brazilian place. And I said, no. So all the girls went to Brazilian restaurants and I went to Temple Bar by myself. So the first time that I went out, that I hanged out in Ireland was on my own. And that was amazing because I became friends with the singer, and this singer made a song, sang a song to me. And I was like, oh my God, how come, you know? I just told like, I told him like, oh, I'm from Brazil, because she said like, oh, are you enjoying the show? I said, no, I'm from Brazil. And he just sat on my table and started talking. And then he went to the show again and said, this song is from a Brazilian friend there. And I was just like, oh my God, I felt so good, you know, inside. And all the things that I have watched in movies, you know, the movie P.S. I Love You.
Yeah.
It's like, and I was seeing exactly the scene that I saw in movies. Hello, Daisy, how are you? So when I saw that scene, I was just like, oh my God, my dream is becoming true, because I have always dreamed to live other cultures in my life, you know. And that, even today, I feel like sometimes I'm in the movie. I'm like, when you speak English, you know, like you can be anyone. You can talk with Arabic people. You can talk with Japanese. One of my very best friends, she's Japanese. Another friend is British. My boyfriend is American, and he will laugh at me right now. But for us, here in Brazil, it's kind of harder to do it. It's not like in other countries that it's easy to travel. Like here, if you don't have much money, it's a lot harder for you to go, yeah? So many people from other countries just don't understand it well, because in Europe, you know, like you earn a good salary and you can do anything. Here in Brazil, you need to save, like you need to sell your kidney, you know, to travel.
I do understand.
Yeah, so I think when I start traveling and I finally like knowing other places in the world, I finally felt like, oh, my dream is becoming true, you know. Mm-hmm. You're saying like here, we're talking too much.
Well, one of the things that I really got flabbergasted. I really got flabbergasted by listening to some people asking me, oh, if you are Brazilian, you know how to do samba. No, I'm really sorry about that. You love football? No, I don't like football. And how about soccer? I said, I don't know. I don't like soccer or football. Look at me. I look like a nerd. And of course
So what's the word you say, flabbergasted? What is this word?
Oh, flabbergasted.
I don't know.
Okay, flabbergasted is like surprised. It can be in a good way or in a bad way, but you can be flabbergasted, like holy ravioli. So you are flabbergasted by something, and it's like surprise. Yeah, you could say, oh, I got surprised. But this is interesting. Okay, when people ask me these cultural aspects of Brazil, normally some people say, oh, do you have giraffes there? I say, no, we don't. Not in the way you think. We don't have monkeys on the tree trying to pick up some bananas. I say, oh, really? Yeah, we have.
It's like the Simpson episode, yeah.
Yeah. There is a misconception of Brazil. There is a misconception. This is what the media normally sell media normally sells this idea abroad, like we have only beaches, samba, naked women, and you look at that and say, no, people dress very well, excuse me, people dress very well in Brazil, by the way.
But in Rio, like we call it stereotypes. Yeah? We all have it from many countries around the world. Like
No,
some
absolutely.
people just think like in Arabia just have like Muslims that we do
Indeed.
crazy stuff, you know.
Yeah,
And
indeed,
sometimes I did the live with the guy that these days, and many people are like, "Oh, he from Iraq?" Like, how can be a teacher? Some people just think
that's-
like everybody in Iraq is the same, you know.
But that's the problem of the media. You have a crazy perspective if you are definitely based on the media. And then you go bananas because of that. That's why if you go bananas because of media, you will not have the chance to talk to different people and open your mind to different cultures.
Yeah, that's what we need to understand. Like before talking about a culture, just go there and check about it, just to search about it. Yeah.
We've got bloody internet.
Bloody internet. My friend says this bloody.
Bloody
And
internet.
he's from Yemen, and he say, "Bloody hell, Gabi, what are you doing?"
Yeah, mostly certain. It's like what? There is a guy who wrote under the line of Ecuador, football and banana. Well, I do like banana. There is football. There is definitely football. It's one of the main sports in Brazil. But we also have a rugby, especially my city. There is a team of rugby or two, perhaps. I don't know. I can't tell you specifically, but yeah, definitely. One
Hey,
thing that
bye.
who is that? I mean,
This name is like a proper name. We should say Pai. He's Anderson. He was my flatmate in Dublin.
oh my lord, he was your flatmate. All right,
Yeah.
that's okay.
So how about your accent? How did you like reach this such a great level of pronunciation?
Well, what can I tell you? What can I tell you about it is it's just something that really hit me when I was, I think, 18, 19, 20. I can't remember specifically, but of course, I can explain in a way that people will simply understand. When the internet started, I started getting very interested in the language acquisition. And what did I do? I did this. I decided to listen to BBC every day. I mean, every day, every single day, all right? And then what happened? We acquire the language unconsciously, okay? You don't learn a language consciously, not in the speed that people need. So when I read the first articles of Stephen Krashen, I realized that I don't need to be 100% conscious while I am acquiring the language. What I mean by that is when you want something, you have a clear goal in terms of language acquisition, like English. When you listen to something on your computer, you listen that in English, 100%. And people ask me, yeah.
But
yeah,
how can you explain if you think we acquire language unconsciously?
Yeah.
How can you explain that many people can't learn at all? Like, what are the problems? Like, hello,
Yeah,
Victor.
that's one of the beliefs, all right? Oh, Luis is here. English, hat and wine. This is the myth. Thank you, man. Cheers to you. Cheers to you, Mr. Luis. Mr. Luis is an amazing person. I love him and his children. He's amazing. Well, you asked me why people can't learn a language unconsciously. Well,
Yeah, like let's say my boyfriend is learning Portuguese now, and many people
Right.
try to learn English. And
Right.
they say that's really hard stuff. Why do you think people find so hard learning English or learning another language? I don't think for him is, no, maybe for him. He say that's a hard thing that he's doing. And
All right, all right. Just give me 1 second, 1 second, okay? Just a second. Talk to these people here, just a second.
Ok. Então, gente, nós estamos conversando só em inglês aqui hoje. Eu queria saber se vocês estão entendendo o que a gente está conversando. Se vocês têm alguma pergunta para fazer, porque tem gente que pode ficar um pouco perdido, né, na live, toda em inglês. Então, se vocês tiverem alguma dúvida, vocês podem perguntar em português também. Se falar o que é essa palavra, se a gente estiver falando muito rápido. If we are speaking too fast. So please, guys, let us know if it's too fast, you know?
Oh, definitely. If we are too fast, just let me know. I will try to speak in a very slow way. Don't worry. I am here at your services.
That's good. That's good, Thalita. You're understanding. I'm glad some of you can understand us.
Oh, Ta Guedes is she's self-teaching herself, Jesus.
Yeah, she's one of my students as well.
Holy ravioli. Fantastic. I'm very happy. Luis is still here on fire. Well, let me explain something quite important, okay? First of all, there are lots of people I wrote here. First of all, cultural aspects that I wrote here that are important to acquire a language. What is that? First of all, you have to have a discipline. You have to have a clear goal. You have to have a clear goal. Set a clear goal on your bloody language that you wanted to acquire, because you don't learn a language, you acquire it, okay? Well, what I'm saying is, if your boyfriend wants to acquire Portuguese, he needs to stop, first and foremost, he needs to stop watching and listening American TV and radio. And
he doesn't watch TV at all and no radio. He plays sometimes, you know?
Yeah, stop playing for some time, just to play as a reward in his life and just to listen Portuguese. Because people get confused. When they wanted to learn the language, they wanted to learn the language, they wanted to acquire the language using the 4 skills. That's mental. That's insane. 4 skills.
I know the 4 ones.
So you wanted to learn 4 skills in a very short period of time. That's insane. That's loopy. You go bananas. You go bananas. The first principle you have to apply is you have to put your brain soaked. And what's the meaning of
pay attention, guys. First one, you put your brain soaked. Like this is a glass.
Soaked.
There's
Yeah,
something here.
it.
So you soak your brain in. You know,
Yeah,
soak.
you have to soak. Very good leader, by the way. Good example. Very,
When
very
you wash
didactic.
the clothes, you soak the clothes afterwards. Yeah.
Very didactic. Thank you very much. Very didactic. I love this experience. So,
Welcome.
what are these skills? I think Talita, that's her name, right?
Yeah, Thalita. So we're
Okay,
talking
Thalita.
about them now.
Okay, what are these skills, Talita? The first one would be speaking. The second one would be listening. And Gabi, tell me the other 2, please.
Writing and reading. But
Exactly.
we have 2 passive ones, you know. The 2 passive skills are when we read and when we write. When we read and when we listen, because we're not producing anything, right? So nobody can judge you when you're reading something or when you're listening. The problem, I think, is adults are very concerned about what people will think about me. So when they are speaking and writing, they get embarrassed. They get like, is someone going to judge my English because I can't speak well?
Oh, they
I
get
am
frightened.
a teacher. Yeah, I'm a teacher today. And in these 2 skills that you need to put, like we call output, you need to produce something. So you're going to be in evidence. People will see if you're making mistakes. You will sound ridiculous in the beginning because you're like a baby. You can't speak at all. So I tell people to learn an English, to learn any language, you need to forget that someone is judging you. the learning process itself, it's very awkward in the beginning. You're going to be like in a lot of, how can I say micos in English? Micos, embarrassing situations?
Embarrassing situation, yeah?
Yeah, like I say my boyfriend is American, and many times, even after speaking English for like 4 years, I went to have like some events with his family, and I was doing bullshits all the time, like, oh my God, what I'm saying, you know? So that's something that you need to understand when you learn a language. It's going to be awkward many times, but you need to laugh at it. Like, that's the only way, you know? And you were saying, like, you can keep explaining. You soak your brain for in the beginning, then
Yeah,
listen all the time.
Yeah, the first principle in order to learn a language, in order to acquire the language properly, and that's one of the things for your boyfriend, is you have to soak your brain into Portuguese. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it really doesn't matter if you are in the process of understanding the words. It doesn't matter. Why?
And the
Because
same
if-
for English, yeah? For who's
It's the
learn
same
any
for
language.
any language. Let me tell you something, okay? I don't know, I will tell you, and I will prove that to you. I don't know how to write these sentences in Japanese, okay? I studied Japanese when I was 12 years old.
There is a Japanese friend here, so she will listen to you now. Ayami,
Okay,
pay attention now.
I hope she's going to listen to me. So I will prove to you that I am a live person here in front of you that tests and try any kind of approach that you could possibly even imagine. And I will tell you what works. Okay? First of all, in Japanese, Hajimemashite, watashi wa Jonathan desu. Dozo yoroshiku. Okay? So that's my Japanese. I don't know how to write that, but I know how to pronounce. I will give another sentence. Ogenki desu ka? What's the name of your Japanese friend? Can you remember?
Her name is Ayami. Not sure if she's here yet.
Okay. Ayami, anata wa Burajin desu ka? So that's one of the sentences that I could possibly say in a very good way, okay? And why did I learn that? Why I acquired this way? Because remember that I said at the beginning, you have to soak, you gave a great example, you have to soak your brain into that. So that's what I did. That's exactly what I did. I did this. I listened Japanese and the same sentences for many, many times. So I have, there is a channel, you can watch that online for free, Japanese. So I did that. And I repeat that constantly because it's also a physical process. It's a physical process. There are 43 muscles on your face. You have to use them.
You must train them, yeah? I know
Definitely.
one sentence in German. Ich spreche Deutsch. That's
Very
all.
well. So that's you speak German. That's fine. But people get really, really frustrated. And let me tell you, there are only two acquisition killers that I will mention today.
She got your Japanese, you see?
Oh, well done. I did understand your Japanese. Thank you very much indeed. Domo arigatou gozaimashita. So that's one of the words that I could possibly pronounce, okay? I could also say ogenki desu ka? Or I could say denki desu ka? Denki desu. So these kind of words that I could possibly say. Well, I hope she will understand that. Yeah.
Surely.
So the only two acquisition killers that I call when we become adult, okay, in our adulthood, is the first killer is frustration. If you are frustrated, you will not acquire a language whatsoever. You have to
So how many
decrease.
times can you fail without bailing? You know, like how many times can you fall without bailing, without giving up? because it's gonna happen a lot. Like, oh my God, this today I can't study. My brain's frying.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't take this
That's
anymore.
yeah.
So
That's
frustration is the first one to manage. Yeah.
yeah. Frustration is one of the most important one. One of the most. The second most important that I see in adults is this anxiety. When you are anxious, it kills the process of acquisition. It will kill, it will certainly kills the acquisition. Frustration is one, but second would be anxiety. You can't, you can't learn, you can't acquire a language if you are doing that.
So yeah, I always compare these with two areas of our lives, like as of in a financial way and also in a like a body way. Let's say if you want to become rich or if you want to get muscles, it's not gonna happen fast.
Oh, it's not going to happen.
So frustration is one of those that you should not take, because let's say I'm on a diet forever. I would say like I wake up every single day and I try to eat better. That's one thing that I struggle with.
But
And
I've never seen, I'm sorry to butt in, but I've never seen a woman out of a diet. I've never met.
yeah, even if we learn how to eat, we call it a diet because it's a matter like what do you eat. So every single day I try to eat well. I try to eat
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
And sometimes I get frustrated because I do it the whole day. And the first, I don't know, the first deception I have, I just go there and the sweet is my, I don't know, it's my home.
It
sometimes.
ruins your diet. It ruins your diet.
It's a kind of Stockholm syndrome, you know, like it's something that I'm slave of yet. So I'm trying to replace this obsession to exercise. And a great cousin of mine, she's helping me. And I'm teaching her English and she's helping me to be fitness.
Oh, that's a very good exchange. That's a very good exchange.
Yeah, it's amazing because she's better than I so far. I think she studies every single day. And sometimes I bail because I say, no, I can't do it. I want to wake up tomorrow and be skinny. I don't want to do exercises. I don't want to say no for sweets. So it's the same stuff when in finances, people just say like, I want to buy the things, I want to think right now, and I don't want to make efforts, you know, like I don't want to give up on these goods. Let's say I want to buy a car. They don't want to give up on these good, like let's say on the quality of these, to have a better life in the future, to like invest their assets. So every single thing in your life that you want to acquire or conquer, you will need to do this effort of like giving up something, giving up the time that you're going to play to study English, maybe giving up the money that you want to spend to invest, giving up the food that you want to eat to get fitness. And it goes, you know, everything you want to learn, you need to dedicate this time, yeah?
Yeah, one of the things that I like to mention in this case, when people cannot get, for example, not only a diet, but people don't get, let's say, the right habits. Okay, if the person doesn't get the right habits, what I can tell you is this. Okay, you have, first of all, your brain is under stress. Your brain is under stress for sure. I've been studying neuroscience for about 3 years and a half. And what I can tell you is this.
Oh, me too. You know, there's a Harvard course. Amazing.
Yeah, exactly. But I read most of my things in about 20 books or something like that, okay? And then I realized quite a serious problem. The brain is Jesus. You are putting this kind of a holy moly. What the hell is that?
There are many. I don't know how to remove the filter, so I will keep the good one.
Yeah, keep that one, please. Well, as I was saying, is basically you have to start these new habits in a very small pieces. It's like your boyfriend, if he wants to acquire the language seriously, if he wants to acquire seriously the language, He needs to start with small different habits. What I mean by that, I'm saying that he needs to listen to Portuguese every day, minimum 10 minutes, but highly focused, highly focused. If he's not highly focused, he's not gonna acquire it. He needs to decrease, and it doesn't matter if he understands it all. It doesn't matter. The brain knows how to recognize patterns. Sooner or later, you will acquire the language. But people say, oh, but I'm listening this very difficult audio. Who cares? Your brain understands that. Your brain...
I think 70% is fine. Yeah? Like, I mean, in the beginning, you start like with 10 and then 20. And then it, like, I'm in favor of the person taking the text, let's say the context. Let's say, oh, they're talking about coronavirus and the hospitals closing. I'm in favor of the person just know a bit of the context in the language, and then they watch, you know, or they listen, you know. Like I listen to the news every day in English.
But that's what you have to do. It's just people think it's a hard work, but it's not a hard work. You are exponentially in a curve. In a curve, you are learning, you are acquiring it in a very simple way. But people wanted to learn 4 skills in 1 year. No, try to just listen, and if you feel okay to pronounce the words, pronounce it. Use it. Listening helps a lot, because normally people ask me, how do I learn a language? Well, the only way to acquire a language is putting your brain soaked in this kind of thing. Oh, but I wanted to go to Australia to learn English. Jesus, with that accent. If you learn with that accent, that Australian accent, I will be the first one to give you a prize, because their accent is very hard to understand.
It's harder than Irish?
It's harder than Irish. It's harder than Irish, for sure.
I don't find it nowadays. Like nowadays, I found Irish. No, I mean, I learned Irish, but
yeah,
for me, it always sounded more like harder.
Yeah, no, it is. It is, definitely it is. But one thing that I have to tell is this. The first one, put your brain soaked to acquire the language. Oh, but I don't understand 100%. Don't try to learn 100%. Try to learn what you can, what your brain helps, because that's juicy. That's very juicy for the brain. The brain is trying to understand the patterns. You will recognize the patterns of the language. And that's true. That's scientifically proven. The second principle, and that's the second principle, is brutal. The second principle is brutal. Why is brutal? Because if you don't work your muscles, your 43 muscles, 40 muscles on your face, you are not going to speak that whatsoever. No.
Especially your tongue, yeah?
Yeah.
Like your tongue, and when I say true in English, like when I say words like
yeah. And that's insane. That's insane when a person asks me, oh, but I have to pronounce. Well, it doesn't matter, because the more your muscles ache, if the more your muscles ache, the better you learn it. It's like going to the gym, for Christ's sake, Jesus, holy guacamole.
For Christ's sake.
It's like that. It's like that. You go to the gym and you work your muscles, and that's fine. You will acquire it, okay?
One more thing we didn't talk exactly about. I think you have to find emotional motivation. To stand all this pain, all this awkwardness, I think the only thing that can keep one learning, it's emotional motivation. Let's say, if you think, oh, I'm going to learn because I have a trip, it's not enough. I want to learn because I want to improve in my work. It's not enough. No. You should want to learn because you really want to. Like you want to, suppress yourself. Should I say suppress or overcome?
It's in order to get your reward. And what would be your reward? The journey when you're acquiring a language, you have to enjoy the journey, and it's not the end. I am always learning Portuguese and English because I'm always reading in both languages. The third, let me say something quite interesting. The third topic is what? The third topic is read a lot. You have to read. Penguin.
Listen, reading.
Penguin. You have a Penguin books. Read the books. People normally tell me, oh, and what if I study by sentences? Sentences, they have no connection. No connection. Let me give you a sentence. Oh, teach me a present perfect. I hate these words, but it's a teacher's word. Okay, present perfect. Past simple. Oh, past simple. There's a meta what's that. You have to know how to use it. So basically, what I would say is this. Do you want to acquire present perfect? Okay, you can do that by reading books.
Like
Read the books.
You should read books that you get engaged with. Like, this is one that I bought.
That's it. That's it. That's it. Because now you are
Good
going to
books.
see. Yeah, now in this case, you are going to see this kind of thing. Let me show you mine. Full of a present perfect. I hate this word, but it's full of a present perfect. Look at that.
It's
Look
a
at that.
biography, yeah?
Yeah, one of the wealthiest man in Great Britain. So there are lots of words here: present perfect, past simple, past continuous, present perfect continuous. I don't know, whatever, prepositions, but people don't read. They need to read that. It will help
but
you and me.
if you say someone they don't like reading at all, they can listen to. They can write, instead of reading. Like
Okay.
there's always a solution. I'm not saying you're wrong. I think you're right, but also the person should enjoy the journey. So
okay,
if they don't like reading in Portuguese, maybe they will say like, "I need to read,"
No, but let me tell you an important thing here. One of the tools you can use nowadays, I gave it to four of my students. Oh, teacher, I'm not a big fan of reading because I get tired. I read a lot of things in my work, and I say, all right, in your work, you read a lot in Portuguese. Fine. You don't want to read in English because it's tiresome. Yes, it's tiresome. It's tiring. All right. Let me give you a very good example of reading without reading. Do you know reading without reading? I created a new concept now. That's crazy. Okay.
When you watch series,
No.
you're reading the subtitles.
Jesus Christ, go to Audible, buy for $10 a book. When you are walking down the street, you start listening to that. And even your boyfriend can do that in Portuguese.
Yeah, I like series a lot. I love series when but series you usually have fun doing this.
Yeah, but series, I have to be honest with you. Series, you have to pick up series with a long range of different episodes and seasons. Because if you only get one season, 2 seasons, you are not going to learn that. I'm sorry to disappoint you. You have to have a narrow reading, narrow watching. You have to binge watch, for Christ's sake. You have to binge watch the same thing because your brain will recognize the patterns. Even in the pronunciation, which is one of the topics here, is pronunciation. So let's say that you get Friends. You know the TV series Friends?
Yeah, I know Friends.
Right. Watch it, but watch it like you are going to die if you don't watch. Pay attention.
Pay attention, yeah, so I always say to my students, you can watch the whole episode, but pay attention at least in 10 minutes, very attempted.
Yeah, no,
Take
very,
notes
very
of the new words.
You have to be focused. If you are not focused, you are not acquiring it in a short period of time. I'm so sorry to disappoint people, but that's the truth. In the fourth principle, you have to understand, and I think we should work with psychologists or psychiatrists, is this. If you are angry, anxious, let's say, bad-tempered, if you are depressed, if you are angry, if you are hangry. You know what's the meaning of hangry? It's
Yeah.
hungry with angry, right?
Hungry. Yeah.
Yeah, you are not going to acquire. You need the psychological aspects of yourself, myself, everybody here. They need to understand the psychological effects of these bad things. Oh, I want to learn how to pronounce the words. Pronunciation, one of the topics here. The pronunciation is repeat a lot. Repeat a lot.
Repetition. Yeah. Repetition.
Use. Oh, but I'm afraid of that. I am sick of a repetition. But that's the thing that you can do. Watch the video and repeat the sounds, because the moment you repeat the sounds, go to the ear from the ear to the mouth, and it's a cycle. It's a physiological workout. It's a physiological workout.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, when you pronounce badly, I should say, people, when you pronounce wrong, you are going to understand wrong as well. Because when someone says something, let's say, you listen hangry, and angry. So if you don't say hangry, oh, when you're thinking about the word, if you don't relate to something, that an image inside your brain, so I'm angry now. Do you think I want to eat something, or do you think if I say that I'm angry with this face, like I'm angry now, no?
You are. There is Guedes, I think Talita. This is important. The more you repeat the sentence, the more it becomes automatic to your brain when you need to use that sentence. But normally people don't even listen to Audible. Audible is one very interesting app you can download, and you can listen to books. 4 of my students, oh, thank you, Talita. 4 of my students are listening to audibles, okay? When they go to the gym, they don't listen rock music, they don't listen electronic music whatsoever. What they do, Gabi? What they do? They do this, Gabi. Gabi, they do this. They listen to Audible, the app Audible, okay? They spend $10 a month to read a book. 3 of my students, 4, but 3 of my students, you know how many books they read in 3 months?
Read or listen to?
They are the same. They are the same for the brain, okay? Do you know how many books they listen until today?
Know how many?
12.
12 books each?
12 books.
I like podcasts as well, no? Do you?
I do like podcasts, but podcasts, there is something little dangerous there. You have to listen from the same interviewer. You have to listen from the same interviewer, because you have to recognize the pattern. That's what I tell my students. I like podcasts, right? Pick up one. Joe Rogan is amazing. Get Joe Rogan. He has...
This guy, yeah?
That's it. Get him and listen to what? 2,000 times.
Yeah, that's quite interesting as well, for who doesn't like
2,000 times. 2,000 times, yeah. 2,000 times. Doesn't need to be the same episode, doesn't matter. Needs to be the same interviewer. If it's the same interview, you're going to get that in 6 months, or if you want to improve, like, oh, I speak English, but I speak a limited English. Well, in 6 months, if you do that 4, 5, 6 hours a day, you are going to improve that dramatically.
But they need to speak as well, yeah? Not just listen.
Both things. They need to do that.
So that's what you need to take notes, guys. I think the live is gonna end, you know.
Ah, bloody hell. Okay. So thank you very much. I would like to thank Brotvine. Okay, I would like to thank Brotvine. They sold me a very good Romanian wine and also Ukrainian wine. And I would like to thank you very much indeed for having me here, Gabi.
No, I thank you, and thank you all guys that enjoyed the